you say there's a lot more things with anxiety. There's a lot more things with everything, as in autism is another one
Mm.
that's popping it up everywhere. But it's a thing that needs to pop up everywhere. As I'm dealing with it, having a son who's autistic, non-verbal. It's so crazy at the moment with and the things we keep on hearing from the government is just
So
yeah,
it's it's a double-edged sword is mental
yeah,
health,
yeah,
because we've been told, and we still will be told, to talk about it, talk about it, to talk about it. And nowhere along the line did anybody think, well, what resources are we going to start putting in place when people start talking about it? Because these are heavy subjects. Like I say, we're talking about, not me personally, but we're talking about people that's dealing with deep, deep, deep rooted trauma. It's not the stuff you're going to shake off. There needs to be more help. And that has to be, the pinnacle of what we need to reach for. And in terms of, I the government will never be able to conquer this because they've let it spiral so out of control. The mental health stigma is what holds it up just now. The more and more we converse, the more conversation we have, like I say all this all the time, we dismantle that stigma. We start pulling it down. And sooner or later, if we get through to so many people, you're not going to get everybody talking about their mental health. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. There's people that it won't affect. By rights, they will have very little understanding about it unless it's affected somebody very close to them. And that's fine. That's fine. We don't need to change people that don't need changed. What we need to change is this view of people that it hasn't affected. And for some reason, they have this negative view on it.
yeah,
It makes no sense. The only explanation to that is that it has probably affected them negatively at a younger age, which is ironic as well. And we have to change the perception of how deep it goes. I mean, you look at today, not that I've checked the news too much today, the budget was today, and I don't think there's been any mention of mental health bill reform. Excuse me. It's, it's the most important day of the year in terms of what we're spending our money on. So to not getting a mention tells you exactly what you need to know about what the government views it as. You have political parties try to score points on whether there should be welfare reform, whether anxiety is just a case of the Monday blues. Well, I know from my convulsing legs the other week that went on for 4 hours, and the fact that I kept on thinking I was kept on passing out because of a heart attack isn't the Monday blues. It's far from it. And I'll tell you this now, like, I get off lightly. Like I say, I'm not the one that has to deal with horrible trauma. Remember, I'm the average Joe here. I'm the average Joe that suffers with anxiety and depression. It's a horror, and I struggle. And to think, how deep that goes through other communities, it's harrowing. To answer a question of what I was saying before, it's probably why some people do have negative views about mental health, is because maybe it has affected them at some lower level when they've not had the opportunity to talk about it, when they've been really, really, really angry. And so that anger's carried on. I don't know. Maybe that's me thinking of in other people's heads too much. But certainly we need to change their conversation. We need to change their mind a little bit. And just get more people speaking about it is how we get through this.